Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, August 16th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and the NQ. So the bulls finished on a very strong note. We held yesterday's trend day, came down in A period, never got into the single prints in ES. NQ did, but left a small little tick, so they stayed in the upper distribution. And then we took out yesterday's highs again. NQ never got an overnight. So they're monthly. So remember we said earlier today in this morning's video that the overnight, the lows for the month are in the overnight in both ES and NQ. Well, now ES's high for the month of August is in the overnight. So volume horrible. Again, the question we have to ask ourselves, even though the daily is up and acting very well, is this just short covering? We'll go over the charts in all three of these indices after we go through this. Righty ends with a 10 wide point of control and an afternoon pullback in J. Now, ES and NQ end with nothing. They failed on a trend day up, okay? So 32% of trend days up have held this year. So all we have for ES and NQ today is today's highs and lows. So if we open up inside of this range on Monday, you're going to need your hard hats because there'll be chop all over the place. So keep that in mind. I had an okay day, nothing big. In A period in NQ, I took a short against the 144 after we came down, looked like we were going to get the overnight low and fill the single prints. Came back up, took a short against the 144, did okay on that. Nothing great. We were getting good tempo on the towards the end of A, so when B opened, I actually took the long and it sputtered around a little bit and then popped A's high, so that worked. I did get caught a little bit in C. I had a 2-lot. I made some on one, held the other one, came down. I thought we were going to finally, these have been my bread and butter trades. Came in, took it for a loss, so I was out, but nothing big. I did get that back in more in F period. When we took out E, I got long, and we finally popped the IB high. I little ebb and flow trade in G because of the single prints long. And then in J period, I was looking for it to pull back more, but I did take a long on the single print fill and got paid a bit. And then by the time M, I wasn't going to be a buyer in M, even if it had gotten back down to half back. So I just watched after that. So the afternoons, we had a fantastic week this week as far as ranges and things of that nature, but the afternoons kind of dried up a bit, almost every day. SPY's up over $21 this week. So fantastic in that vein. The monthly chart looks spectacular. I don't think that's going to hold. It would be healthy to get some kind of pullback. We do have Jackson Hole next week. So we'll see what comes out of that. As far as our destinations, weekly high now, 86.25. So we took everything back from that Thursday, Friday, Monday, except for getting Thursday's high in ES. NQ just missed taking back that high, but don't forget, they have a huge gap above them. So there's still a lot of work to do. And today's low in ES is 47.50. SPY's high, weekly high, is 555.02. Okay, they did take out the first high. So this actually is a monthly high right now. Not a weekly high, but a monthly high in SPY right now. ES, again, never took out that high, but SPY did. And in today's low in SPY is 551.26. So let's go over the charts and try and break these down. And by the way, before I do that, the market spent the whole overnight up here until an hour prior to the opening when it sold off really hard pre-market. When supposedly one of the Fed heads, talking heads, said recession's still not off the table. These guys should not be allowed to speak. All that did was cause us to spend the first 2.5 hours taking that whole hour back and then going back to what the market was doing for the afternoon. So again, the market makes the news, not the other way around, because I don't think he retracted what he said, yet we hit new highs on the day. So meaningless stuff that gets spewed out of these guys' mouth. Okay, now let's go to the charts. We're going to start with IWM. So here's their monthly. Okay, they're in balance on the monthly. After coming out of balance to the upside, they took out last month's low. So right now, again, we'll see how big the balance is at the end of the month. But their monthly is in balance. Their weekly is also in balance. Now this is a little tougher one. ES and NQ got to that Thursday's high, so we know where their balance is going to be when you see it. The reason I'm saying that is it's just a 2-week balance, and if we take out this week's high, we're going to call it up, or do we encompass this whole thing? That's the question. So for now, I'll just say it's a 2-week balance and see if we come out of it to the upside and see how next week acts. So balance on the monthly, balance on the weekly, and the daily is up. Right? We came out of balance and we're up. They still have a big gap also to fill from that Thursday, August 1st. ES does not have that. Let's go to the NQ and triple Qs. So the monthly is balanced. Look at this monthly candle, how impressive it is. But there's still 10 trading days to go in the month. Okay? We'll see how big a balance it is, what it's going to encompass at the end of this month. The weekly is balanced, but you see how much closer we are to that Thursday's high right here? So I would call this for now basically a 3-week balance, which means we could easily go back to up next week. And the daily, up. We're one-time framing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. 7 days we're one-time framing up in the NQ. We have gaps below us, 1, 2 gaps there, and we have 2 gaps above us. This huge one from the first, and then one more before you get to the all-time high. And then on the ES, the monthly, same thing, is balanced. How big is the balance? We'll see by the end of the month what we'll call it. I don't think this candle is going to stay like this the whole month. It'd be pretty impressive, but we'll see if it does or not. The weekly is balanced. It's a 4-week balance. Okay? So if we're able to take out that Thursday's high of August 1st, the weekly would actually go up. Pretty impressive after what we had happen 2 weeks ago. And then the daily is one-time framing up 8 days. 9 days. 9 days. So we went balance, bear, back to balance on the Tuesday, and since then up. So we're one-time framing up 9 days. Again, the volume, 44 million. That's been an issue on this whole move up. And the reason it's an issue is if it's the majority of this is short covering, once they're done, and there's no momentum bias to carry it forward, there'll be no floor underneath. So it all remains to be seen what will happen. Hope you had a good week trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your weekend, and we will speak prior to the opening on Monday.